Hey, what's up, guys? It's Innership Gaming here, and welcome to
And
another.
what about the skeezers?
Thanks for interrupting me the intro. This is the first time you've ever done that.
I
But
mean, it's facts, it was skeezers.
yeah. So this is a live stream, and since I'm streaming it on YouTube, if you guys join in later, you guys can watch it later.
Yo, I'm about to join in now. I'm gonna be your only fan. Let's get it. Oh, yo, it's a replay.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, is this with us fighting?
Yep, it is actually. You notice because of the color, huh?
This is about to be lit.
For
Dubs.
real. But I bet you guys are wondering why I'm streaming, my replays instead of me actually playing. It's because we're gonna do kind of like a podcast type of thing right now, since like we said on the last video, FighterZ's having problems, can't fix it. You know the GIF by now.
Originally, we were gonna just play the game normally and make a video of it, since we were gonna do that part 2 FighterZ thing. Since if you saw his last video, but unfortunately, not even about 4 hours after that video, we tried to do a ring match again, and it didn't work, and it hasn't worked since. We can't play at all.
Yep.
Which is really awesome.
Yep. And just like with a lot of things, we don't know when it will be fixed or if it'll even be fixed at all. We don't know. Bandai's being very untalkative or communicative for it. Like, they won't say anything. Like, if you go on their Twitter or
really
anything,
quiet with these problems.
Yeah, they don't.
And it's been about 2 weeks since the game has been dropped.
Yeah,
which, in my opinion, is kind of shady and weird.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Hey, that's just me.
Yeah, it's really weird, and it's like they're aware, because they do say that they know about this.
They're just kind of trying to brush it under the rug, it seems like.
Yeah, like they don't really care about it. It's like, it seems like it's not a priority. I don't know. It should be, because I mean, I don't know about y'all, but when you play with your friends, it's better than randoms. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
For sure.
Like, that's not just with this game or any fighting game. I mean, like, almost any multiplayer game. Like, you name it, I would say randoms is not as fun. Like, no offense to y'all or anything like that, randoms, but I mean, come on. I'd rather play with my friends or people I know, I mean, that's just the way it goes for everybody, I'm sure. So, actually, now that we stated the problems with FighterZ or whatever, not that that's going to be like the only thing, but yes, we're going to be talking a lot about FighterZ, like just in general, we're going to be talking about it. We plan on talking about other things too. Not just
its problems, but
yeah, like in general. Yeah, it's pretty major. But yeah, we plan on talking about other things too. If the Kryptonian doesn't mind staying a bit longer or anything like that, then
I don't.
Yeah, so
I mean, I got anywhere to be.
Yeah, same. So we're willing to talk about other things too. But knowing us, the way our hype's been building up and stuff, we're probably gonna be talking about Dragon Ball a lot. So just disclaiming here that yeah, it's gonna be a lot of Dragon Ball stuff.
But that's not the only thing we're gonna be talking about. So don't be like, oh, forget this junk, and then click off.
Yeah.
Don't worry, chill.
Yeah, thank you for that. So, all right, so I think we're gonna get started now. I guess. I mean, I got nothing else to say that I gotta be like disclaimer or whatever.
We started.
I know, but like, just not just stating
like
problems or whatever.
Started.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start talking about FighterZ, since obviously this is what the footage I'm showing and whatnot. I'll let you start. Actually, I'll let you start. What do you want to start talking about? Yeah, I'll let you start. What do you want to start talking
problems, because it's on my mind. This junk. Tell me how we're trying to play, right? Like, oh, this video's about to be fire, let's get it. We're about to make the best video YouTube's seen ever. And oh, no rooms found. It's not like it tried and it loaded and said no rooms found, but it just automatically says no rooms found when there's obviously a ring match in a room right there. So what's the issue, Bandai?
It's like
are you gonna come out with any information? No? Is that... Do you care?
It's like the game.
Not gonna watch this.
Yeah. Oh, definitely not. I mean, like, that would be awesome.
They barely watch their Twitter. How are they gonna watch this video?
Yeah, that's true. I agree with you on that. Actually, I agree with you. It's like the game doesn't recognize that there's a room when you create it. Like, it's a little difficult, kinda, to explain. But basically, when you create a room, it doesn't matter what you put, private or public or whatever, with a password or not. It just doesn't detect it. Like, you can go, and here's the thing, it's not just our rooms, for example. Like, you probably guys are thinking, well, maybe it's because you guys have problems. No. No, listen. We're not the ones with the problems, because you can ask the Kryptonian here when we try to like connect to other people's rooms, like randoms, it doesn't work either. Like it's happened,
At
you
all.
know. It just happened. So I don't know
And
why.
we could see other people, like, and I can only assume, but like, you just see people standing around ring matches, and then like, after a while, they just kind of give up and walk away, try to do something else. Like, it's kind of sad.
Well, I mean, it's not like I can blame them, because like I would probably do the same thing, especially if you're a random, you know. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
it's pretty comforting knowing that we're not the only ones this is happening to.
yeah, that sounds a bit messed up, I guess, but it's true. I mean, come on.
But
Like,
it's hello.
yeah. So I agree with the Kryptonian here. Not because it's new or anything, I don't believe that, but like it's because it's really awesome that FighterZ, in terms of its content or whatnot, like it's the way it's, you know, produced, the way it's look, I feel like FighterZ would be like the best videos on my channel and quote unquote most viewed. So he was right about like us doing this collab stuff being, you know, a teensy bit better in terms of quality and whatnot. That's why we were actually excited about, like he was saying earlier, we were both really like stoked to do this collab. With Xenoverse, we were stoked as it was, but with FighterZ, like we were really excited. And even though he's the one who came up with the idea, we were technically kind of planning on it a little bit, not really all that much, but it was there before the game came out. Not too long before the game came out, but right before the game was coming out, we were kind of like.
And yesterday we were gonna have a Xenoverse 2 video, but the ending kind of made the whole footage a little unusable.
Well,
and overall unusable.
I mean, I can, like, you know, chop that part out if you want. There's not a problem with that. But again, it will be kind of weird with the outro be taken out completely. It's like,
don't hide it from the people, you know, just keep it real, but you know what I mean? But still, let's just say it's a very unprofessional act was permitted. I'm not really sure how to word it, but
yeah. So we were planning on streaming it, and like he said before again, that, you know, FighterZ would be like the best, you know, content on both our channels if we decide to both upload or whatever, you know.
And speaking of Xenoverse earlier, even Xenoverse doesn't have problems this drastic. I mean, it does have problems like this, kind of, but it's not to the point where you can't even make a match with your friends. And it's very inconsistent, because you saw 4 hours before that video, or 4 hours after the video was posted, it was not working at all, and it hasn't worked since.
Yeah, that's the funny thing.
Consistent that way.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. If Xenoverse has
problems, it consistently has problems, or if it doesn't have problems, it consistently does not have problems. But you know, FighterZ is a whole different can of worms.
Yeah, the funny thing is like
and I really need to get their junk together.
Yeah, it's like the funniest thing he said is true. It's like as soon as the video was uploaded, it wasn't one of those cases where, like, which I do a lot, I'll admit, I kind of don't like to admit it, but it's really true, that it's not like I recorded the video prior and then I uploaded like a few hours later or a day later. No, fam, we uploaded this video like literally as soon as we were done recording, and he wasn't joking either. Literally 4 hours later, the junk wasn't working. Like, it's no exaggeration. He's not kidding. It literally does not work. And like he said earlier, we tried like maybe 40 minutes earlier, I would say at most. We tried again before we started doing this live stream. Still doesn't work. So it's unfunctional. It doesn't work. I don't know why, and we're both confused as to why. And speaking of which, I would like to point out and add that I actually decided to, because you know, we were both really mad. Like I said, we didn't display it or anything, us, in terms of the matter, but we were both really mad. So I decided with the anger, I needed to find out. I needed to research. I needed to find out what is going on, and if we're the only ones experiencing it. Because even though we were assuming that we were not the only ones, I was having doubts at that point. I was like, are we really the only ones?
We weren't really sure, because, you know, we're us. We can't really be other people, and we can't see their problems with the game.
Yeah, exactly. We can't see their screens. So I was really skeptical.
We could only assume.
I was skeptical, so I was like, I gotta research. So I did. I went online, I Googled, and I went on the news feed of Google to see if they would post anything new of FighterZ, particularly the problem we're talking about. And just because, as it goes to show, yeah, they did actually. I was a bit surprised, but not really. And I was like, all right, so I decided to look into it. And yep, we were right, by the way, the Kryptonian. Other people are experiencing the same thing, and the article says that everyone's problem is basically says that when they try to join a random, even a random's ring match, it says no room found, quote unquote, and that's exactly what we're experiencing. So we're not the only ones. So I researched a bit more articles, and they said the same thing, if not relatively the same. So yeah, we're not the only ones, guys. I researched it. I took the liberty of researching.
It's comforting, but at the same time, it's kind of sad to see it's happening to other people.
So a lot of people, as I mentioned earlier, I researched, are very mad. I saw their tweets because the articles took a snapshot and put it on their article of the actual person's tweets and stuff, and dude, they are mad. I mean, they started cursing, they were dissing Bandai and Arc Systems. I mean, it's serious.
I mean, rightfully so at this point.
Yeah, it is serious.
They really need to get their junk together. So
yeah,
if a couple harsh words will do that, then so be it.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's not nice at all, but at the same time, like he said, I can't blame their feeling at all. Their display might not be appropriate, but the feeling is mutual. I think it's appropriate, the feeling, because it's frustrating. It's very frustrating, especially knowing that basically this game, no offense, like, I appreciate what the concept is and it's beautiful. I really do like it, but the execution was pretty bad. It's the multiplayer, the way it is executed, it is confusing. I mean, you can ask the Kryptonian when we first got the game on the 26th, bro, we were confused on how to play together. I mean, we spent at least an hour or two literally figuring it out on our own, Googling it. How do we join each other at all without playing with randoms? There wasn't no specific way. So we were like, how do we do it? Like, we were confused. We were really confused.
In the beta, we were like, oh, I mean, I assume we can't play together because, it's the beta, it's whatever. But apparently, I think we were able to. There was a ring match thing, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
It was in the beta, really?
I think. I mean, I don't know. I don't really remember. That's my point, though. Like,
we never did it. We never used the ring match because they didn't really make it clear how to use the ring match.
That's my point, though.
How to do it. They didn't make it clear how to do anything.
I don't think it should be something as confusing as that for someone to be able to play with their friends at ease. I don't think that's necessary. I don't think that's a good way to market their games in terms of the multiplayer value. Again, I'm not an expert. I'm not saying I am. I don't know stuff like that. But if I were to guess and stuff with personal experience and whatnot, I don't think with that it's a good thing. So again, I appreciate their concept. I like how you can make your rooms. They have the lobby thing as like the little world. A lot of things is cool. Visually, it looks amazing.
And Arc Systems really did do a good job with that. There's no complaint there at all. Because a lot of people do complain about that.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Which is kind of dumb. But
yeah, and which is really funny now that you brought that up, because a lot of people would prefer a more quote-unquote generic fighting game. I kid you not, people do say stuff like that. I don't know if they're intoxicated when they say stuff like that, but
yeah, because in a lot of fighting games, you'll just sit there waiting for a match, just in some like random menu screen. Where in FighterZ, you can actually have interactive like place where you can walk around with some of your favorite characters in a chibi style.
Yeah,
I think that's cool. And Arc Systems, they do that with a lot of the games, from the Guilty Gear games. If you guys know about those, they do it also. So I don't see how that's a problem. It really isn't, in my opinion.
I really think
There's
it's really cool.
Wrong that comes from it.
Yeah, and it's very visually pleasing and awesome. Visually speaking, it looks amazing and really cool. Very unique. I mean, I don't know. I'm one of those types of people that I prefer nowadays, especially for not just in games. I mean, in general. Like, I prefer a lot of things to be more in their own perspective and their own unique ways, rather than like I said earlier, a generic way. because with that mentality, that's really sad that people, like, not everyone obviously, but you know, a lot of general people would prefer a generic, you know, way of, you know, doing things and getting things, and that's really lame. I don't even know why that's a thought, to be honest, because I never thought like that, even when I was a kid, obviously, or anything like that. If anything, as a kid, you think it's different, more different, but I don't know. I just don't see.
Like, why would you want less? Because it takes less effort to just make a normal generic menu, waiting for a match, or to like buy Zenny, or not buy Zenny. Wow, to use Zenny, or to get to a story mode. If you want to get to the story mode, you can get there through the hub world, but also once you get into the story thing through the hub world, it has its own little menu. That's a lot more effort than just making a menu for the story. And I think that they should give props for Arc System using that. I agree. See how they're dissing them.
Yeah. Another thing too is that, like he said, you actually have to walk to the, you know, places you want to do, like the modes. It's not even a long walk.
You can also teleport. You can also teleport also.
Yeah, so there's.
I don't see how that's a big deal.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, I never personally use it because it's, like I told you, it's not a long walk at all. And watching, like you said, with your chibi Dragon Ball characters walking around, I mean, it looks cute and cool, so I don't really use the teleport for that reason. The only times I would use it is if I'm in a hurry for whatever reason, which would make sense. But I don't really use it for just, like, boredom or whatever reason you would come up with, like, oh, I just want to teleport because, you know, it's too long of a walk. Like, just hear yourself saying that. That, to me, that sounds really stupid. I don't know. I don't see how that makes sense. And this doesn't really relate just to Dragon Ball FighterZ, but it's part of it. Something that I've been struggling with a lot, not lately, but like, you know, in recent years, is the fact that people complain and diss the company for, like I said, in general, for taking, like, the development time for taking more than they should, or that it's taking too long. Listen, look, if they take more time to develop a game, to polish it, that's a better game already. Like 9 times out of 10, that's a better game. Like, just on its own, it's a better game. So if you spend so much time developing it and trying to polish it with grand details and whatnot, it's gonna be better already. If people, like, we've noticed it too. That's the thing. It's not a new trend or anything. We've noticed games that are not. We've noticed games that are not finished, or that they didn't take as much time to develop, and then we notice, well, I mean, not just us obviously, but like the consumers and players notice, the game is kind of lacking, you know, it's lackluster in a lot of content, and, you know, sometimes it's not really the developer's fault, or sometimes it is. I mean, it's just different. Yeah, sorry about that. But it's just a practice that I will have to admit they're practicing a bit more now. But in general, it's been a thing always, even back in the 90s and stuff. There have been games that developers just didn't quite finish, for whatever reason too. Sometimes it's like, oh,
tell, like, it's not a secret when a game is unfinished.
Yeah.
Sometimes really obvious when a game's unfinished.
Yeah, and like
one of those cases is FighterZ. Like, a lot of the concepts here, they make it feel really unfinished. That's the only word I can really think of when I think of FighterZ. Unfinished.
Yeah, and like I said before,
even in the hub world, there's areas where it's just like nothing's there. And of course the network problems, and, you know, but the story is there. It's not lacking in content. It just feels it doesn't feel very polished.
There we go. Yeah, I would actually, I agree with that. I don't think I would have said that better myself. So yeah, with a lot of games, a lot of developers don't finish the game for whatever reason. I mean, here's a good example. Sonic 06. You guys know that is a failure. It's a failure. But we gotta give Sega the development team. We gotta give the development team the benefit of the doubt and a bit of a chance, because it's not a secret, so y'all should know this. It's not like I researched this recently and you guys are like, oh, no, I didn't know that. No, this is old news, obviously. I'm not saying something new at all.
Yeah, 06, as in 2006, it's 2018.
Yeah, and the news also.
If you don't know this by now, you're never going to know it.
Yeah, like, it's not, and what I'm about to state is not new either. It's not new news either. Like, it's old. But as you may be aware, they were rushed, the development team. The development time is estimated to have been 2 to 3 years. That is a little bit shorter than the average game nowadays. Most games nowadays are 4 to 6. So it is a significantly shorter, actually, it is. So they've been rushed because the new Sonic show, Sonic X and stuff like that, like new Sonic things have been coming out, and Sega, which is also another practice a lot of companies like to do, wanted to produce the game literally when everything else was being produced, you know, to get the hype in, you know, the usual business practice, you know, they wanted to get the hype in, get more market in.
They were very greedy, and I don't want to say they did that with FighterZ, but it's Dragon Ball, and in America it's very popular, and it's not that popular in like in say Japan, but it is not. It's not like, you know, forgotten or not known at all. It's known. It's just not as popular.
Yeah.
But it's very popular in general, the license. So they were like, I mean, I don't want to say they cashed it out, but it feels like kind of a cash out.
That is a lot.
To make some money.
Yeah, that is with a lot of.
But at the same
games.
time, it's very balanced, and they put a lot of time in the game, and you know. So at the same time, I can say that they did work on the game as much as they could, but in certain aspects, I can say it just feels very, very lackluster.
Yeah, and it's actually one of those times, I don't know if y'all, you know, seen it with other games before, but it feels like the lackluster he's mentioning is actually a thing that we can't quite explain. It's something that you don't quite know until you play it yourself. Because visually speaking on YouTube videos and whatnot, it looks totally finished, or it looks totally polished, or it looks, you know, totally perfect. But, you know, like he said, when you play it yourself, you do kind of feel like it does have its issues and its flaws, and it's definitely not finished. And it's definitely not polished at all. So it's just I don't know, we can't explain it. Like, you have to play it yourself. You have to play it yourself to experience it. And it's really sad because I've been actually talking about this to the Kryptonian recently, or more recent, that Dragon Ball stuff lately, especially the show, I know it's a very unpopular opinion, I'll admit it, but it's just, it feels like it doesn't get the proper treatment it deserves. I don't know, it's just like, y'all think the show is amazing and whatnot, and I can respect your opinions in some aspects, but to me it's not. We both grew up with the days of Z, not even Z Kai. Like, when I mention Z, a lot of people are like, oh, Z Kai. No. We didn't even grow up with that. Like, we grew up with Z, the original Z, when it first came out.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, and I also like Z Kai a lot, actually. Z Kai has his own issues, cool. And Z also has his own issues, so they're both good in my opinion. A lot of people are dissing Z Kai, especially in more recent years. I've been, you know, seeing the conversation float around on the internet, that people don't like Z Kai for many reasons. But I personally, again, an unpopular opinion, but I personally like Z Kai a lot. I feel that Z Kai is a reboot. Not that I feel, it is a reboot. But what I do feel is that it needed it. It did needed it, because, like, if you guys watched Z originally, it was a bit cringy, especially with its quote-unquote epic and sad moments, especially when it comes to deaths. No offense, but deaths are super meaningless in Dragon Ball. Like, literally everyone dies, and then everyone's like, oh, guess what? We can just wish them with the Dragon Balls. It's like that every time. So death is
can die, and anyone can be brung back. Like, Frieza died like 8 times, but hey, he's back. He was back in Super.
Exactly, and the funny thing is,
Super's over.
It's funny because Goku died so many times that he became a meme, honestly, with the deaths. It was really funny. So yeah,
you just saw the crosshair just snipe him out, and he's back.
Yeah.
It was basically like a spawn kill. It was a spawn kill. He's just back. He spawned back and he's dead already.
Yeah. So I would have to admit death is very meaningless. I remember that the moments that were supposed to be really sad, personally me, I didn't feel all that sad. Like, I did feel sad because, you know, you get attached to the characters, but it wasn't something like, oh my gosh, you know, you don't have those afterthoughts and effects where you're like, is it going to come back? Is there a way they're going to bring it back, like retcon or whatever? Nah, they'll just bring it back with the Dragon Balls, for example. So it's not very epic or very sad or dramatic, I should say.
Yeah, there's no risk, so like it's kind of hard to care sometimes.
Yeah, I would agree, especially for characters
Sounds weird to say, but it's facts.
Especially for characters that, you know, are not particularly powerful, or characters that are kind of like underdeveloped or something like that. So
I mean, Yamcha.
For real, even Krillin sometimes. But
And I'm
I will
not saying
say
Krillin is underdeveloped, because he's pretty developed. He's a really good character. But like people like, I don't know, Tien, Yamcha, those like kind of low tier, they're very awesome characters, and their personalities are definitely there. But sometimes you're just like, I mean, well, that was gonna happen, obviously, because these dudes are Super Saiyan 3, and like, hello, he's gonna die. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's kind of easy to predict what happens.
So that's the problem. And on top of that, I don't mean to diss Toriyama or anything like that, but the writing for the plot is actually pretty basic.
That dude is forgetful as freak. He forgot his own creation. That
is
Saiyans
very
had
true.
Tails. Like, oh, they had tails? Like, man, he's dumb.
It's true, though.
Is getting to him, I swear.
Yeah, it is true. And the plot writing and stuff, like the writing, is pretty basic. Especially for the time of like other animes that came out, like say Naruto. Those animes had like really dramatic and very convoluted plot lines. It had a lot of plot twists within the anime, to the point where the fans and viewers were like, oh my gosh, I didn't see that coming. Or if something crazy happened, you're just like, oh dang. Like, you get really immersed, and it's really cool. It's sad to say that with Dragon Ball, it doesn't have that same effect. It's not just Super, I would say Z too in some cases. I've never felt like super crazy immersed to the point where, like, if there was a plot twist, I don't see myself going, oh dang, like, dude, and I'm sweating on my chair or anything like that. Nah, I've never really experienced that much intensity before in Dragon Ball.
Because in Super, you have lame people like, I don't know, Kefla, and which is basically just like, you have Kefla and that Broly wannabe. It's just very, very basic at times.
Yeah.
Like, they literally have rehashes of old characters, and Jiren, he looks really dumb, and apparently Super Saiyan Blue is, I don't know, trash compared to Jiren. It's just very hard to believe that that's true, because we've seen Super Saiyan Blue in action, and it's kind of hard to believe that was nothing to that dude.
Yeah, that's very true. A lot of
and all these new forms, they're super overhyped, but for example, Ultra Instinct is barely a form, it's a skill, and everyone was kind of deceived at that point, like, oh, okay, whatever, you know. And Super Saiyan Blue Ascended, that was a really cool idea, but wouldn't it be just better and less lazy to give him a new form?
Yeah, I would agree with you. There's a bunch of colors,
and
like if you
Super Saiyan Blue Ascended, I don't know, Super Saiyan Emerald, or just make him like, I don't know, they should have given him Super Saiyan God a long time ago. Like Super Saiyan Red, like the first Super Saiyan God there was. That should have been a thing a while ago. I don't see how that's not a thing yet.
Yeah, I agree. I actually agree with that, because I don't know, like, it's just, I don't know how to explain it, because like, if Toriyama wanted to use the excuse, which he did, if he wants to use the excuse with the Super Saiyan forms being compared to fire, and different levels of fire as their levels of power and Super Saiyan forms, they could use green, because technically it is scientifically proven that you can get green fire, and it's also been proven that green fire is pretty powerful. It's pretty hot. Yeah, you can actually have green fire. It's possible to actually produce green fire on your own.
What other fire
if you do it right. You can have green
fire.
I do not know. I don't know that if it's purple fire, that would be plasma at that point. Actually, I've read researches that plasma is considered kind of fire in some aspects. Like when you heat it up, it's kind of fire. So again, Super Saiyan Purple or whatever, if they wanted to do that, that would be a thing, I guess, because, you know, like I said, Toriyama likes to compare the Super Saiyan form's power levels as the fire and the strength of the fire. So it would make sense that Super Saiyan Red came to be. And then, you know, yellow fire is like the most common fire. That's like the fire you get when you light a match. That's obvious. And then there's the red fire, which is actually... okay, let me state this real quick before I continue. Red fire has also been proven scientifically that it's weaker than the yellow one. So that is a little weird that red was stronger in terms of... Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. So if Toriyama...
That's a neck.
Yeah, if Toriyama wanted to use that excuse or that plot, you know, idea or whatever... that was a fail, actually, I would say. I knew this for like a long time now, but it's only now that I realized that, or more recent, I should say, that, you know, Toriyama's, you know, excuse that, oh, their Super Saiyan forms is like fire, you know, that's why I use those colors on my color palette or whatever. Then my boy, Toriyama, you failed with Super Saiyan Red. If anything, if you wanted to do it like that, in the Z days, when he was fighting Frieza for the first time and he turned Super Saiyan for the first time, that should have been red, if that's the excuse you wanted to use for the fire intensity of their power levels. Yeah, so if you're saying that the, you know, the fires is like the equivalent to the Super Saiyan forms or vice versa, whatever, then my boy, you failed very bad with Super Saiyan Red. And it looks cool, but if you're using it as the strength...
It wouldn't have been that much of a neck if he didn't bring up that excuse in the first place.
Oh, definitely, I agree.
Oh, the levels of the fire, because then it would have been just normal. No one would care.
Yeah, exactly.
We always have to compare it to the fire, Toriyama.
Yep, that's true.
And Super Saiyan Red is probably my favorite Super Saiyan form, and I think Vegeta should have definitely had that. He would have looked awesome. But... I don't know, sometimes I'm just like, Toriyama, do you even know what forms you're making? You're just kind of like willy-nilly, and in my opinion, speaking of forms, like Super Saiyan 4 is also a cool form that I like, which is, you know, probably an unpopular opinion, but I'm not sure. But GT, in general, I think it was better than Super, because they have like, how many episodes of the World Tournament? But it's only 10 minutes? What? Dude, stop.
Oh, yeah. I'm actually glad you brought that up because...
That makes no sense, dude.
Yeah.
That makes no sense. But each episode is like, what? Like 10 minutes each episode? Bruh.
Yeah,
That's
actually...
Like, it's already like an hour.
Yeah,
What the
actually,
freak?
yeah. I'm glad you brought that up because it's not quite as noticeable, actually. It's barely noticeable in Z. But in Super, it's quite more noticeable than every other, like, Dragon Ball show. The timelines and the time, you know, stuff that happens, like the events, is really trash in the Dragon Ball universe. Like, especially in Super, like I said.
It makes no sense.
Like, if you connect the dots and you connect the episodes as one big movie or whatever, and, you know, like you said, with it being the 10 minutes in that saga, that doesn't make plausible sense. That doesn't make sense physically. Like, you cannot have that many episodes when the battle would last, or like the whole tournament would last 10 minutes. That doesn't make sense. That is just physically impossible. You can't do that. That doesn't make any sense. And there's, like you said, you're right, there's like a lot of Tournament of Power episodes, like a lot. I believe they started at 97. They're at 210 or something like that, my boy. What are you?
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
I'm not joking. I'm not exaggerating. I searched this up recently. They are at 200 and something, my friend, and they started at 98 or 99 or something like that in the 90s. So what are you guys doing, like,
bro?
But you
10
said,
minutes.
but
Okay.
that's 10 minutes. That doesn't make sense.
Sure.
That doesn't make sense. And just so y'all know, I would say out of, like, if I had to pick, out of all the sagas in Super, that is by far the worst one. That is by far my least favorite one.
Yeah,
that
that's where they have the Broly rehash, which is super lazy. Really super lazy. If they had made her, like, look like Broly, kind of, like, which is, what Super Saiyan? Like,
Legendary Super
Saiyan? Legendary Super Saiyan. If they had her like that, but does she have to act exactly like Broly? Like, that's so lame.
Yeah, I agree.
And really lazy.
And on top of that, like, I know it's another unpopular opinion, but I don't really like Broly all that much, especially as a character in itself. I don't think There's character
I mean,
development.
He's an okay character, and his character development isn't horrible. But like, the legendary Super Saiyan thing is kind of. I don't see how.
It's not better than Red or
What
4.
is her name? I don't even know her freaking name.
I think it's Kale. Yeah, it's Kale.
Kale? Yeah.
Yeah.
How come Kale has so much freaking power? Oh, and hold on, before I bring that up, how come Kaba and what's the other girl's name? Kefla?
Oh, Khalifa?
I don't know her name.
Yeah, it's Khalifa.
Khalifa, whatever, Khalifa.
Mm-hmm.
How come they can turn Super Saiyan 2 in like the span of 5 minutes, bro?
And like you said with that,
they barely trained. They didn't know how to turn Super Saiyan, and in like a month, I don't even know the time frame, like 20 minutes. That's the whole thing with Dragon Ball. I don't even know how much time there is in between events.
Yeah,
in like 20 minutes, they know how to turn Super Saiyan 1, Super Saiyan 2. I'm surprised they're not freaking Super Saiyan 3 already.
Yeah, or even Super Saiyan Blue at this point, because like I can't understand.
Super Saiyan Blue Ascended Ultra Instinct Super Saiyan 3W. Like,
yeah.
I don't even know.
Yeah,
they're gonna
exactly.
make up some new forms with these 3.
I'm actually glad you brought that up too, because
and Kale, dude, Kale is so annoying.
Yeah.
Her character is trash.
Oh, I agree.
Her character development is some needy loser who cries over everything.
Yeah.
And then apparently, ooh, I'm legendary Super Saiyan, let's fight. And
yeah.
dude, he went Super Saiyan Blue and couldn't beat her. Jiren had to put her in her place.
Yeah.
How freaking embarrassing is that?
Yeah,
that's embarrassing.
True. Yeah, it's true.
And Goku acts nothing like Goku. He's all like, yeah, like, yeah, he kind of acts like that. He gets serious sometimes, but dude, he doesn't even act like Goku at this point.
I agree. And like, I'm gonna state points on that factor too. But before I forget, I'm also glad you mentioned with the Super Saiyan nonsense. It's bad enough that they turned Super Saiyan, as he said, without training and with the blood and sweat, you know, as turning Super Saiyan. But the excuse that Super provides as to the explanation as to why they do that is that they can feel a sensation on their backs. What is this, ASMR? I don't understand. Like, you just feel a sensation and you turn Super Saiyan 2? What? That doesn't make sense to me. Like, I don't know.
Like, I get, like, charging and having to... I don't know, the sensation in the back thing, I can understand, you know, because I'm sure they have to do that charge thing, like, and that's how they charge their ki, by feeling that in their back. But they make it so stupid, like this X-ray scene where there's a couple fairies hanging around in his back, like the power was there all along. Like, nah, they had to train, they had to work hard for that power.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys saw
y'all
Z,
just have it already?
Yeah, if you guys saw Z, the way that not just Goku, mind you, especially Vegeta is actually a really good example actually when it comes to this kind of thing. The way they earned their Super Saiyan forms, they worked their butts off. I mean, that wasn't an easy feat at all. I mean, I remember in Z, in order to turn Super Saiyan 2 was super hard. I remember that when it came to 3, that when he was turning 3 for the first time, as the viewer, obviously, and in the show he's turned it into it before, but as a viewer, as you're viewing the show, it was the first time we've seen it. When he transformed to it, for the first time, I remember that the whole earth was shaking. You guys can search this episode, I'm not making it up. This episode is on YouTube, I've seen it. You can search it up yourselves. When he's turning Super Saiyan 3, the whole earth shakes. There's waves. There's almost tsunamis.
People are gonna say, "Oh, but it's a different universe. There's all these different universes." And speaking of those universes, they just got eliminated. Hit and Champa, they just died. And all the gods of destruction are like, well, it was nice working with you guys. Like, dude, you're literally about to die.
Yeah.
That's another thing about Super. Like, they really are. They just don't really care about death anymore.
Yeah.
It's not very serious apparently anymore.
I mean, like
That's
in
super dumb.
yeah, like in Z, it's more like unintentional, I guess. But in Super, it makes it seem like even the show is self-aware. Like it's so self-aware that it breaks the fourth wall like every time. It's really, really uncomforting as watching it because it's kind of like even the show itself, the characters within the show don't even care. Like he said, they just don't care about anything, especially death. They just don't care. It's really weird and really bad writing.
Just because they're like gods and stuff, they think death is like below them or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
What goes through their head.
Yeah, so I don't know. And I also remember that even for Super, turning Super Saiyan Red and Blue, it took so much amount of energy and training and sweat that it felt like, you know, it was really earned. It felt really cool to see them transform or whatever. I don't see that with like Ultra Instinct, no offense, or with like Super Saiyan Blue Ascended. Well, I mean, Super Saiyan Blue Ascended, I guess, kinda. But I don't know. Like I said, I'm comparing it to like how the Super Saiyan trend started in the first place, which, like I said, it started in Z, which it was really hard to get into that form. I mean, I remember that when Vegeta turned Super Saiyan, for like just Super Saiyan 1, like from being base form to Super Saiyan, the massive amount of difference of the power level was huge. I remember that he was even able to go up against the androids when he couldn't before. That's how powerful Super Saiyan was. That's when you know, wow, you know, it's really important and really dramatic to see them transform. I don't see that happening in Super anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it just feels meaningless to transform. At this point, to me,
Since
it's
Super
almost a
is
meme.
not even happening anymore. So.
Yeah, it just feels like a
Good
meme at this
riddance.
point. Honestly, it feels like a meme to me because it's like, oh, he got a new form. Oh, he's gonna get beat up. Like, it just doesn't feel
Yeah,
like.
literally they get new forms, and dude, Vegeta has had it so hard.
Yeah,
Like,
another
he
thing.
just gets beat up every
Yeah.
single time.
Yeah, another thing that's overlooked, by the way, is how Vegeta doesn't get credit for everything he's gotten or earned or gone through. I feel like Vegeta, like, I mean, I don't care about Goku at this point. So yeah, shade and diss to Goku at this point. But Vegeta is just, he's so underappreciated and like undercredited. Like, he deserves so much credit for even in Z. Like, he's actually technically saved the Earth since the Namekian Saga. If you've guys seen that saga, technically a lot of the events that happened in the Frieza saga, it was because of Vegeta. It was because of him. He's the one who helped out.
If you really think about it, yay.
Vegeta, he was the one who helped. I mean, even with the Dragon Balls, sure, it was a small part of the show in that saga, but it was still significant because they still had to use it. They needed it. Vegeta,
Yeah.
you know, could, like, his plan, okay, yeah, his plan was to betray them, but guess what? He didn't. He realized the consequences, and even if it hurt him and his pride, he went with it. And he helped his, you know, well, I mean, they're not his friends or whatever, according to him, but he helped his allies. And that takes a lot of honor and guts, in my opinion, especially for someone who grew up with the royal family and whatnot. Like, you are taught different things compared to like Goku or his brethren, other brethrens who are born as warriors or whatever. Vegeta is born as a royal family, so in essence, I can't blame him for having his prideful attitude.
That's a big downgrade from being Prince Vegeta to some dude who's helping these people out, you know?
Yeah. So I'm sorry.
Took a lot of like self, like not pride, but he had to like swallow his pride to actually do what he thought was right, and that is something that I think is way cooler than Goku. And if anything, he works harder than Goku to be as powerful as Goku, or more powerful. So if you really think about it, who trains more? Who works harder? Not Goku.
Definitely not. I mean, at the end of the day, guys, you can disagree with me all you want, but it's facts, and you can think about it and analyze it yourselves. It's facts. Vegeta's attitude.
You can look it up, do whatever you want, but it's facts.
Yeah, Vegeta's attitude and demeanor, you can't quite blame him. He was born in the royal family. Think about it in history, in our real life history.
He was literally raised to rule planet Vegeta. He was raised to rule the whole planet.
The whole planet. It was his destiny.
That's a lot of pride to swallow.
It's something, it's a promise, you guys. if you think about it, when you
And
get
all that pride and all that pride and all that promise was one of the reasons that he became a good guy in the first place. Dang it.
Yeah, it's true. So, like he said, like the Kryptonian said, I look up to Vegeta way more. Like, Vegeta did so many things that maybe may not be physical to you guys, but it's still things that are feats that not an ordinary person can do, especially with someone who was born and raised in the royal family, and someone who's been promised, hey, you're gonna rule all of this. They've been promised, hey, you're gonna rule all these people, hey, you're gonna get all this stuff, hey, you're gonna get this and that, and you know, this is gonna happen in your future, in your destiny. This is your destiny, it's your fate, you know. With those many promises, with being born with the royal family, with being told stuff, with practice, with training, all those things accumulated, guys, come on, give Vegeta a break. Like, actually, I don't blame him at all for being prideful and egotistical. Like, it's just in his blood, it's in his nature.
And even then, he still swallowed his pride. He's more human than a lot of the characters in Dragon Ball. He has a family, he has a son, he has a wife, and he may not act, you know, very nice to them, but that's how he is. He's a Saiyan, like full blood Saiyan. So you can't really blame him like that. And he was literally raised a Saiyan, and now he's kind of changing to abide with another world's standards.
Another thing you have to look up to him.
Yeah, Goku could never do that. He could never do that.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, like,
about Goku.
You have to think about it. Vegeta is willing. Like, it's not, no one is forcing him. He is willing to adapt to how he's living. His lifestyle, his morals. Guys, he was a villain.
Like he
was a
Bulma,
villain, for crying out loud. Like, he was a villain. Like...
And it's hard to change, and people are like, oh, so, you know, some people can't change. Vegeta did it. He changed.
Yeah, he did it. It's possible.
And he cares about his friends and his family. He may not act like it, but when it comes to them, when it comes to it, he defends them.
Guys, remember, he's a Saiyan, full blood, unlike Gohan and Trunks and Goten and you name all the characters that are not full-blooded Saiyans. Vegeta and Goku are. Like, I mean, Vegeta is obviously. Like, Vegeta is full-blooded. Yeah. So, like,
Vegeta
they're supposed
and Goku are, like,
to be
the only full-blooded Saiyans. Well, I mean, I don't know about Kale and Gabba and Khalifa or whatever.
I mean, yeah, those are supposed to be, but I mean, it's not been proven.
We're not talking about Super. That was, forget about that junk.
Yeah.
I'm talking about they were the only full-blooded Saiyans, and they were completely different because Goku was raised on Earth. Vegeta wasn't, dude. And for him to be a good guy, like, dude, that takes a lot. He literally had to learn again. Like, he was raised on planet Vegeta. He was raised to be a Saiyan. He was raised to be a ruler. And then as soon as he comes to Earth, he's like, oh dang. And then he has to change. And he changed.
Mind you, that
I'm just saying, if
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, my bad. Like, I didn't mean to interrupt you. You can go.
Nah, I don't. But like, I'm just saying, Goku could never be able to be like raised on Earth and go to planet Vegeta and have everything around him be like, oh, be a villain, be this, be that. He knew he has to change. Yeah, that's true. So that takes a lot more gonads to change, to be a hero, to change everything you know, and to actually be an ally, and you can't rule the planet, and you can't do this. All those things he was promised, and he has to swallow that, and that's hard.
It's hard. I can't even imagine it myself if that's happened to me before. I mean, it's been recorded on our history in real life, guys, with kings and rulers and whatnot. It's happened. It's hard to change, definitely, but for Vegeta to actually change and, you know, do things like that he's done in Z before, you guys got to give him respect at least. You don't have to like him, but you have to give him at least respect. I mean, it's just it's dedication and a lot of honor and valor that he's got that, you know, not surprisingly, Goku doesn't have. I mean, in Z, okay, that's another thing I wanted to mention earlier, by the way, now that we're talking about Goku, is that Super does not display Goku the way he was displayed in Z. I'm sorry to y'all who are used to...
he acts nothing like Goku.
I'm sorry to y'all who are used to the Super Goku or whatever, especially you guys in Japan. It's definitely not your fault in Japan, but Goku isn't like that from Z. Goku is more like Superman. I don't know if you guys seen the dubbing, like the way people dubbed it, like not
and
just
honestly,
the fans.
Back then, I would be like, I like Goku and Vegeta the same kind of.
Yeah.
But now he's progressively gotten more annoying, more obnoxious, less funny, less fun in general, and more kind of generic hero.
Yeah.
And Vegeta is more the underdog, and everyone likes the underdog. Everyone likes Vegeta. Because Vegeta's the GOAT, man. He's the GOAT.
It's true.
The greatest of all time.
It's very true. I don't understand why they did that in Super. I mean, I know in the Japanese Z, he was kind of like in Super, kinda. Again, operative word here, kinda. But if you guys seen the dub, like, I know, a lot of people are like, but the sub's the original. I know. But listen, just hear me out. If you hear the dub, and you know, you've seen the dub, it doesn't matter which dub, they're usually the same. Funimation or not, they're usually the same, the way they portray the character. Goku is what the fans call him, the Superman Goku. That's the Goku we grew up with, guys. That is the Goku that was legendary. Like, he actually cared for his family, his friends, the planet, for crying out loud.
Yeah, and that has changed. Like, he's barely a husband, he's barely a father.
Yeah.
He's just some... And how is that, like, cool? Like, that doesn't seem very heroic to me.
That's true.
Like, as a father and as an actual person, he's more like a Saiyan because he doesn't care about his family.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, that's kind of ironic considering he's like, oh, I'm an Earthling, oh, I'm this, I'm Goku. But he acts kind of like a Saiyan if you think about it. He's becoming more
hypocrite warning.
More obnoxious. What?
Hypocrite warning. For real, cause
yeah, for real. He's a whole hypocrite. Like, oh, I'm an Earthling, I'm this, Nah, dude, you're acting like a Saiyan. Even
and not
claim.
and not even a cool Saiyan. Like, it's not even a cool Saiyan.
And Vegeta, he doesn't deny it, you know, sometimes. And even then, he cares more for his family than Goku does.
Yeah.
If you really think about it.
Yeah.
Like, of course, Goku, he hangs out more like Gohan. I don't really see him hang out with Goten. That's his freaking son, his, like, newest son.
Yeah.
I mean, I see Vegeta with Bulma more, like, on screen.
Yeah.
Like, on the actual animations. I haven't seen Chi-Chi on screen in a while, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
Since, like, the beginning of Super.
Yeah.
It's so annoying.
Yeah.
How he's, like, this high and mighty superhero Goku, but he can't even be a father and a husband to his wife and children.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
that's really lame of him.
Yeah, I mean, I will admit, I mean, it's not a secret, and it's quite obvious and blatant that, you know, Goku's known to be quite a pretty bad father in Z and stuff, like, as a family, as a whole family member. He's not the best. Sure, everyone has their, you know, imperfections and flaws, but Goku is, like, I don't know, it's a bit too much.
Yeah, but it's a little extreme.
Yeah, but at least in Z, like, he actually cares. Once again, like, that's probably the best description for the way the fans described him. The Superman Goku, aka the Z Goku, he cared for everything.
Was super selfless. He cared about everybody. He seemed like a super good guy. He was funny. He was awesome, bro.
Yeah.
But something changed. I don't know what changed.
Yeah, and here's the perfect example. One of my best, my favorite moments in Z to this day. Do you guys remember the episode, specifically in the Frieza saga? I'm pretty sure you remember the Kryptonian, where Vegeta died for the first time, and Goku put him in a burial, and he got mad when Vegeta died, knowing that he sacrificed himself, Vegeta, of all people, for his friends. That was an epic moment, because even Goku, being a dummy and all, realized what was at stake. His eyes and mind was open. Like, he realized at that moment and on, dude, I gotta kill Frieza. it's over, my boy.
Exactly.
I gotta kill him.
And especially when he killed Krillin, like, he actually cared for Krillin. He was like, I feel like he cares more for Krillin and Vegeta than he does his own family.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to say don't care about Krillin, don't care about Vegeta, because I do like that he cares about them, that they're his friends. But it's kind of annoying that he doesn't even care about his own family.
Yeah. Yeah, which I would say typically you should technically care more about your family. Like, no shade to your friends, but I mean, guys, who did you grow up with more? Who did you share your life with more? I mean, come on, let's be real. It's true. And even with, like he said, like, I know that's kind of annoying even in Z, but at least we gotta give credit to the Z Goku that he at least cared for the well-being and health of everyone, including on Earth or even Namekian. Exactly, he wasn't even racist. He was mad when Frieza enslaved.
He was more racist to his own race than he was to other races. How freaking ironic is that, John?
Yeah, and like I remember that he got mad. Like, I remember that Vegeta didn't really care, and then, like, Krillin and Gohan didn't really think of it at the time, but I remember that Goku was like, dang, it's messed up that Frieza's enslaving all these Namekians and killing them just for fun. Like, it's messed up, and Haki, it is. You know, I like that Goku that cared and, like, didn't, like, wasn't obsessed with fighting. Like, that is, like, the best dubbing here for the Super Goku, is that all he does is fight and fight and fight. Like, oh, new opponent, I want to fight now. Oh, no opponent, oh, I want to fight. Like, that's not cool at all.
In the old Dragon Ball, every episode wasn't fighting. Like, there was actual development and there was actual, like, character story. It was a story, but now it's just like a freaking action movie. And I don't mind the action, but I want some development with the characters. And with Goku, for mostly Goku, he's basically the main character, but not at this point. At this point, Vegeta really takes the cake here.
Yeah,
he has more development than a lot of characters. Even Trunks has more development.
Yeah, and when they introduced him, they actually...
And even Gohan, even Piccolo. I can name the whole cast, and they'd have more character development, I swear.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I completely agree. That's probably why, like, my roster of, like, my favorite characters is probably pretty big in the Dragon Ball franchise and license and shows, because a lot of other characters are just really cool, and like he said, sometimes they just take the cake over Goku. Like, it's just kind of like, yeah, you're the main, you know, like, protagonist, but at the end of the day, the other side characters and whatnot, the supporters, usually are cooler. I don't know how to else explain it. It's just like that to me, and obviously to the Kryptonians the same thing. It's just annoying. And back again to what I was saying, that how, you know, they treated Goku and developed him as Super being more of an idiot and more of a selfish person. That actually, if anything, what Super has done to me is made me like Vegeta more. Let's be real. Because of that, I like Vegeta more. Thanks for you guys for opening my eyes even more. Not that I didn't know that Vegeta was cool and all, and I never liked him or anything like that, but it made me like him even more than what I originally did. So I guess I can thank you in that aspect, I guess, but that shouldn't be a good thing.
It's just kind of funny that that wasn't your intention.
Yeah, which is funny.
That Toriyama said that he doesn't like him. He doesn't like Vegeta at all.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. He stated it too publicly that he just does not like Vegeta. And if you guys know by now, which is again old news, he says that his least favorite character in terms of the hero roster out of all the characters he's created is literally Vegeta, which is again one of the main characters of the show. How ironic is that? And again, with Super, they just made me like him even more. So thanks a lot, I guess, which is not a good thing considering Goku is supposed to be the protagonist of the show. So I don't know.
Exactly. Oh my god.
So it's a huge neck. It's a huge L. I mean, we can keep going on and stuff, but basically the moral of the story, guys, Super is not a good show. I mean, come on, take the time. I know it's
not a horrible show. It's really not a horrible show.
Yeah.
But it's really not good at all.
Yeah. Like, okay, I know it's really old. It's in the 90s. It's cringy at times. And it's very less corny. But take the time to watch Z, guys. Or Z-Kai. Z-Kai is fine, too. Just take the time and see for yourselves what we're talking about. What we back up our support from. Like, it's from that show alone. it's just, you guys need to see for yourselves that that show is literally the foundation of Super. That's another thing, by the way. Super is found, like, it's continued from, you know, what the show says, from Z. So if anything, Super should have at least 90% of the stuff that in Z was produced, whether it be power levels, whether it be villain, whether it be character development in both sides, whether it be locations, whether anything. In every aspect, it should have everything. And I don't know about you, but in Super, they trashed every work that Z produced.
Dude, like garbage. Like the garbage truck came, that stuff honked, and they took out the trash.
Yeah.
And went back. Dude, it's like really bad.
Yeah, it's like everything that happened in Z, it not everything obviously, but like in a lot of things, it's like, it didn't matter. It didn't really happen. So, you know, you're Super. Like, it's just,
yeah, exactly.
It's really bad. Like, I don't know. And okay, another unpopular opinion, which is not quite on topic with the Z thing, but I have to state it. Let's be real. I'm not just talking about the animation. I'm talking about story arc, development for both characters and writing and plot, everything. The movies are better than the show. Let's be real. Come on, guys.
Even the art and everything, the drawings, everything about even the story itself. And there's more character development in the movies than there is in the show, which is just sounds stupid to say.
Yeah.
That's dumb.
Yeah, and I'm really sorry. Like, I really wish I was joking when I say that, but the movies are by far much better than the show. I mean, I don't know about you, but I know, well, I mean, I do know, because I remember we both kind of experienced it together. But when we first saw the, you know, Resurrection of F, especially, bro, the hype was real. That was an awesome movie. Still to this day. That came out in 2015. Still to this day in 2018. That movie was fire. That was an awesome movie. In many aspects. I'm not just talking about the art, which is a big part, but it's not the only thing. Like, a lot of stuff. Like, the way Blue looks when he transformed. Dude, that was amazing. And the plot twist.
First time we saw Super Saiyan Blue, bro, that junk was high.
And let me be real, that the first time, the plot twist that Vegeta turned into it as well. That got me. I was like, dude, that's it.
That's one of the main reasons, and one of the main reasons that I still do, like, think Vegeta is the best character and is my favorite. Because, dude, you just felt it. I felt it more than when I saw Goku turn Super Saiyan Blue. I was like, dude, the hype was so real.
Yeah.
Because Vegeta works super hard, and that's the thing. Maybe that's why, because you actually see Vegeta work harder, and to finally see him, like, actually get what he finally wanted, which was to be as strong or maybe stronger than Goku. To see him actually get there, it was more fulfilling than to see Goku get there.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think that's what you want in a main character. You want them to succeed. You want to see them actually get better. And you want to see them turn. You want to see them get stronger.
You want to see the fruits of their labor. You really do.
Yeah, and with Goku, I didn't want it as much as I wanted it with Vegeta, for example.
Yeah. I mean, with the movie, they did a really good job to kinda... I mean, it was a little vague compared to, like, everything else, but they did a pretty good job, actually, to display the Z Goku, the Superman Goku, aka, in the movies, actually. I didn't really see the jerkiness in it. I didn't really see him being selfish. I didn't really see it. It was there, kinda, but I didn't really see it being his strong personality.
It wasn't like super like, it wasn't like, oh, well, this dude's a jerk. Like, dang, can he chill?
Yeah.
It was just sometimes he was a little like jerky, but it's not a big deal. I didn't really think anything of it. I was like, man, all right.
So
they need to stop playing with Goku.
Yeah. So then when Goku got the form,
actually, I kind of liked it how he was not just a super fun, like super goofy. Like, he actually had, it was realistic, and I like that. But to the point where he's a complete jerk, like, douchebag, is super annoying. Because that's not Goku at all.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that. And like I said, when we first saw him turn blue or whatever, it was awesome. But when we saw Vegeta, for example, like you said, wow,
Dude.
that was just... I mean, you didn't expect it. Let's be real. Come on. You didn't expect him to do that in the movie.
Did anyone expect it?
I don't think so. I mean, that was supposed to be the point, and I know that I'm stating the point, but still, guys, I mean, I didn't expect it. That was really awesome. It was really cool that Vegeta was able to finally beat Frieza. And guys, I don't care what you say, he still beat him, okay? Sure, Goku gave him the Kamehameha.
Yeah, and Goku always has to deal with Vegeta every single time.
Yeah, that's true.
It's always annoying every time.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So technically, I don't care what you guys say, Vegeta beat Frieza, technically. I mean, if he had known that Frieza would do something cheap as that, he would win. He won. Like, he won. In my eyes, he won. He won the battle, and he finally got his vengeance against Frieza.
They should have just stopped there. That's super lame thing.
Yeah, I would say that would make the movie 10 times better.
And that's sad to say, because I want to show, I want to see more. I want to see more of Goku and Vegeta. So trust me, I'm not saying stop. But if you're gonna make it good, dude.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know what to say to that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. So, at the end of the day, like I said, the moral of the story is that the show is not what it's supposed to be. I know a lot of people don't see it. Again, I don't see how you don't see it, but it's just not a continuation. I don't really see it as a sequel or an installment of Z. I don't see it. It's not really there, which is really sad to say, because having a modern Dragon Ball show, like with an animation style as modernized as a lot of animes, and like the story, like, guys, how awesome would that be? Like, oh wow, like I would watch it every day. Like, I'd binge watch it, like, for real. I would, if it was a good show. But we didn't get it. And when the movies were supposed to be the introduction and, you know, the setting and the stepping stone of the show, that just made it sound even cooler, in my opinion. And at the time, I really thought that, I mean, I knew that, like, I expected that a lot of the segments, in terms of like the quote-unquote unimportant segments of the show for the animation and whatnot, not to be so crisp and clear and really awesome detailed. I expected that, because in a lot of animes they do that too, and especially in Z, they've done it before, and it's even laugh-worthy sometimes. But I didn't think it would be that bad. It was really bad. Even in the fight scenes, which I do remember in Z, they actually never missed a shot with that. I think, for the most part, I'd say 90% of the show, the fight scenes and like all the climax parts and like just basically all the dramatic and cool parts were very well drawn and very highly detailed. You can tell that they spent a lot of time. Yeah, they put a lot of effort, like to the sweat details, to the eyes, to the facial expressions, to the lip sync from the actors. It was good. I would say it was really good, especially being from the 90s. I think that was really impressive at the 90s. That was really cool, especially since the anime industry really wasn't as like.
But it's not just with Dragon Ball. It's not just with the show. With a lot of things, they just put less effort and they take more with less effort. There's a lot of laziness going in just industries like, you know, anime, in games, in movies. They just want money for work.
Yeah.
They just spend less money and make more, which is just kind of like, wow. It's really greedy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I do kind of know why, but I just can't understand as to why that mentality is such a very popular practice in a lot of businesses and, you know, in works. It's really messed up, but, you know, it's true what you said, and yeah, it's a common thing now, and it's really sad to admit it, but it's very true. It's a very common practice in a lot of businesses, like you said, in a lot of places and things that happen in general. It's really sad. So definitely Dragon Ball is not the only victim to experience something like that. Definitely not.
Well, we're about to hit the 1 hour mark in like, how long? Yeah, we're about to hit in like 30 seconds. I think we should stop, don't you think?
You want to stop here?
Yeah, it up, bro. It's an hour.
Oh.
That's the time.
Alright, I see. Alright, so we'll stop it here then, but wow, I wasn't expecting to actually, well, I mean, shouldn't be surprised, but yeah.
It's 30 minutes, but hey.
What?
It felt like 30 minutes, it didn't even feel that long.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so before we sign off, I got a question. Do you want to do, like, I guess a part 2 of this stream, or not? Or, like, tonight, I mean. Because obviously we'll do it later on, but, like, tonight, do you want to do it, or not really? You do?
Tonight?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm on tomorrow.
Okay.
Like, tomorrow? And
Yeah.
we can start the patches.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
okay.
yeah, we covered some of the topics, mostly about DragonBall, and a lot about FighterZ and Super.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a lot of the cast. So yeah, I think that's basically it. It's been an hour, and hopefully tomorrow, you know, if there's time, maybe we could do more. Maybe,
Yeah.
Maybe an hour now, maybe 2 hours. We'll see how long it goes, but here it's like midnight right now, so, and we both had pretty long days. At least I had.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a long day.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good then.
So that's that.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right, guys. Well, I really hope you've enjoyed, I guess, this rant, kinda. I mean, we did talk about good things, and
It was
yeah.
30 minutes, at least 20 minutes was rant. For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast stream thing. We don't really have the connections and necessary tools and platforms to do an actual podcast or anything like that, so this is like the best go-to podcast-esque like thing. So and considering the fact that we can stream FighterZ and like our clips and whatnot, that actually helps a lot, that we can stream it on YouTube. I think that really helps a lot, because not sure if you guys know, even the Kryptonian didn't know, you can't stream on YouTube Xenoverse 2. That's really dumb, but you can't do that. That's,
yeah, that's,
like,
I remember, I think I used to do it before, but now I'm not so sure, considering that I didn't even know you could stream anymore. I don't know if it's some copyright thing being banned on Sony or something like that, which is kind of ironic considering a new game just came out for the dogs.
yeah.
But yeah, a lot of this videos are rant, but you know, we just say our opinions. And we're new at this podcast thing, so yeah, bear with us, but hopefully this is good, and we'll get better at it, and hopefully, and I don't know, I'm not flat, but maybe other ways to cover this kind of idea.
Yeah, I do like this idea with the podcast and just being able to talk and stuff while having like some kind of footage in the background. I do like that. That's very cool, and I've never been able to attempt it before, but he left, which is kind of weird. I guess he's experiencing difficulties. He'll probably join back in real quick. But basically what he's been saying is we've been doing, we've been thinking of doing like a podcast stream type of thing. I don't know how to explain it, but like basically a thing where we just talk about a lot of stuff, where we're not really too focused on just playing the game and talking and commentating of the game. Yeah, but it was a nice twist of things, of my usual quote-unquote schedule of my YouTube schedule, you know, of uploading. You know, it's nice to take a breather of like you know, you still watch the gameplay footage, but it's still a nice breather for me, and I'm sure for my cousin as well, the Kryptonian, to just be able to just chill and talk about a lot of things that are in our minds. I'm sure that just as much as me, that, you know, we want to state out our opinions on a lot of things that not a lot of people are willing to state because of reasons, whether you're afraid or shy or, you know, embarrassed or humiliated, whatever. We're willing to state it on the internet, you know, that we, you know.
And you understand a lot of opinions are kind of unpopular, but a lot of opinions back then were unpopular. Martin Luther King Jr. opinion was popular back then, you know.
Yeah.
Power was a thing, but let's not get into that.
Yeah.
It's a different issue.
Yeah, it's true. So it was nice to be able to finally take the time of the night or day whenever we decide to do it, and to be able to just, you know, relax and just talk. Even if maybe some of the conversation may get intense in terms of like our emotions and whatnot, of what we feel towards it,
Yeah.
but overall the
That's
feel.
how it is. You just speak your mind.
Yeah, yeah. But overall, it's a very nice, rather relaxing pace of things. I like it. I've never done it before. Never have. Not even like off camera or anything. Like we've never practiced, actually. Like he stated before, we're new to this, like entirely new to this. So it was nice to try it.
This idea and just press the record button. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much. And it was nice. It was a nice change of pace. I've never done it before on my channel, of course. I've never done it before, so it's really cool. I like it. I really do like it. It's a very nice idea. I'm glad he thought of it. I'm glad that, you know, we were able to do this, you know, sooner rather than later. I'm glad we were able to do it. So
Yeah.
I'm definitely, especially considering how I like the experience of it that we just did. I'm planning on doing more of this type of thing. I think it's really cool. I like this. This is really nice. Like I said, we can speak our mind and stuff and just chill for a bit, while also being on YouTube. So it's kind of like a double win, in my opinion. I like it.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
We do literally. We just talk about this kind of stuff a lot of the time, but it's a lot cooler to see like how people think of our opinion, and if anyone actually agrees with the super trash and Toriyama is kind of forgetful on a lot of these issues.
Yeah.
And with FighterZ also, who else is having these problems? It's just kind of nice to see who else like relates with us and see, and it's kind of real. That's the thing about a podcast, you kind of the real behind the YouTuber thing, because you kind of get lost in the conversation and you're not really thinking, oh, we have to be professional for this video. It's just kind of, you're kind of free, you get to relax, just like you were saying earlier.
Yeah, and on top of things, with a lot of YouTube videos, you know, just it's mostly on gaming, I guess, but it's on a lot of things. You have to kind of commentate on what's going on the screen while you're playing, because let's be real, it's really hard to like think while you're playing a game, because you just want to commentate what your brain is thinking.
Yeah.
So typically your brain is thinking of what's going on your current situation, which a lot of times if you're playing something on all your focus on it, you're gonna talk about it. You talk about it in your brain all the time, in your mind, when you're thinking about it, like your emotions especially. You don't say it usually, but you're thinking it, right? You're feeling it. So when you're commentating it, it's a very similar situation. So a lot of the times, I, for one, at least, don't really commentate on anything else, really, other than what I'm seeing in my face, like in my eyes, or what I'm experiencing in the game or whatever. I don't really get, you know, easily distracted when it comes to like, oh, so, you know, I'm doing, like, I feel like I'm hungry, but I'm playing a game, you know, and it's getting intense. I'm not really like that. I usually commentate what's going on. It's much easier, because actually when I first started commentating for the first time on my YouTube channel, I had no idea.
Though, you can just be like, oh, I'll be right back, I'm gonna get some food. Because it's, you know, it's real, that's the thing. Because with the video, you have to actually, like, do what you want in the video, and end the video, and that's it.
Yeah.
With a podcast, you can kind of see what happens, kind of free, you know, just do it. And I like that.
I like that too. Yeah, it's cool, and I'm glad we were able to try it for once. And this try was awesome. I liked it. This was really cool. I definitely plan to do it again, definitely. And if it counts for anything, this also counts as a collab in a way. So hey, 2-for-1 deal. You know what I'm saying? It was awesome. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it was a really cool thing to experience and to do, and it's simple in a way, but it feels cool. I like it. I really do like it. It's really cool. I guess it's not much to brag about, but I don't really care. I liked it, so it was cool. Yeah. It's really cool. So I mean, like he said way earlier, like way earlier on the stream / podcast, we don't really have much to do, so we'll most likely do it tomorrow night, or later tonight, whatever, since it's 12.
Or if FighterZ's working, or we might just post the Xenoverse video.
Yeah.
And switch up.
Yeah, so it'll be cool. So if you guys want to see like you know, a part 2 / more podcast thing, definitely like this video and stuff, like a lot more likes, and I'll consider doing more of these sooner rather than later, because these are super easy. Actually, like you said, these are easier than normal videos, because you just basically, like you said, as simple as it may sound, and you just press record and start talking. That's literally it. It's really easy, so it's not hard. It's fun. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, so you got anything else to say before I end this real quick?
No, that's about it.
That's about it? Alright, cool. Well, let me just say it was a pleasure having you. I don't actually say this a lot, which I should, because, you know, you don't have to be here. You're not obligated to by any means necessary
Right.
or anything like that. So it is a pleasure to have you on my channel once again. You know, I don't have a lot of quote-unquote friends / collaborators, so it's very hard to find random people or other people I can click with and be able to collab with on my channel. That's really cool to even have that.
It's a pleasure to be here, bro.
Yeah, so it's really cool to have you again. Yeah, and actually, before I forget, because I know I'm going to forget, if we do well, I mean, we are, when we do this podcast again later, we might add in White Monkey, aka Blaze Gaming, to the podcast as well. So that would be pretty cool, actually, to have like 3 people talking a podcast in this.
And he got introduced in the Xenoverse 2 that we might post. I'm not sure, but yeah. Actually, it'd be better to post that so we can actually introduce him.
Yeah.
And see what he's like.
Yeah.
Maybe kind of last part, but well, basically what happened was there was a little competitiveness in the Xenoverse 2 match, and just things got a little heated. It wasn't really appropriate on video. And I think inappropriate. That was just very unprofessional, one might say.
Yeah. It was unexpected, obviously.
Rage. And it would be funny just something, but I don't know. It's also kind of like, oh, nice, you just got introduced. It's raging. You know? So.
Yeah. I
just
guess
thought I'd let y'all know.
Yeah, I guess he didn't account for that, actually, now that I think about it. But, you know, mistakes happen. We're humans, you know, it happens. So it's not like we're mad at him or anything like that, or we hate him.
No.
You know, it's
We're
nothing like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yo, we hate you. You ruined our video.
Yeah, it's nothing like that at all, actually. So he's fine, definitely.
But it happened.
Yeah, especially in a fighting game. It's kind of hard to avoid, especially on me.
It really does.
Yeah, it's really hard to not be competitive. So it really is. So yeah, we're gonna bring him in, definitely, and we're gonna talk about more things and stuff like that, and bring him in more often too. So we're gonna have more collaborations going on. I know, I said that last time on our Xenoverse, like last year, that, oh, we're gonna do a lot of collaborations from now on, and that never happened for like a good 4 months.
Well, the time just gets away with you, you know, there's a lot of school and, you know, family issues and stuff like that, so.
Yeah.
We don't have a real schedule, but if I guess, I'll be doing these at least every weekend.
Yeah, every weekend would sound nice.
At least, you'll only see 2 or 1 video every week.
Yeah, so that would be cool to see some collaborations. Because like I said, last time I did state that we both did, you know, that we were going to do a lot more, and then that didn't happen, but, you know, excuse us for not doing it. Like he said, we do have a life. It's not like we're attached and glued onto YouTube all the time. You know, we've got things going on. So, I mean, I for one do. So, you know, things happen. So, a lot of the times, there's been a lot of things that I've wanted to do, actually. Now that I'm talking about it, I might as well say it. There's a lot of things I wanted to do on YouTube. A lot. Especially since I started out, or when I did start out. Like a year ago, like in last year in March or something like that. There was a lot of things I wanted to do, a lot of things, and collaborations was one. And yes, that did go successful. Obviously, it was able to happen. But there was other things that I wanted to try that, you know, not only did I didn't have the money, or I didn't have the time, or I didn't have the right place. You know, there's a lot of things that factor in being a YouTuber, which one may not think about all that much. Even I could sometimes think that when I'm watching YouTube, that factor in that you know you can't do, like, regardless whatever it is, you can't really do it for whatever reason. And there's a lot of things I wanted to do. Like, I remember like one good example that is kind of minor, and in terms of like how much it affects me, it's not all that strong, but one thing that did affect me quite a bit, like, you know, it really hurt me at first. It was the fact that YouTube changed the whole editing software, or they didn't really change it, they took it out, so that's even worse. They took it out, so I'm no longer able to quite use my custom intros and outros in my videos anymore, because the way I have to do it now, with, you know, without spending money on an editing platform or anything like that, I have to download my video on my software, like my mobile devices, which requires space, mind you, on my device. And then I have to download also, you know, the intros and outros and all that fancy stuff also, which typically aren't long, but you still need space. And then I have to mash that together, and then I have to re-download it with a mashed clip, and it's a whole mess. And then considering the fact that I'm limited in space because, you know, since we're gamers, duh, I got games on my mobile devices too that take up space, and, you know, stuff like that. And, you know, being YouTube on its own, I think, I'm not sure, I don't know how to prove it, like I can't prove it or anything, but I think like uploading videos also take up space. It's weird, I don't know, like the app gets bigger when you upload more videos, I've been noticing recently, so it's really weird. So I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. But yeah, like, it takes up space, all my videos, when I have to download them and then mash them together in one clip and then try to upload that one. Like, it's just, and then since I uploaded the other one, because there's no other way to download stuff without a flash drive or anything like that, then I have to delete the old upload for the sake of the intro and outro, you know? So it's just a big mess. And of course it did affect me at first, and I was really upset and bummed to hear the news that YouTube decided to take out the editing software, which was really easy. I mean, now that it's gone, I can tell you guys how it's like. It's not a secret anymore or anything like that, and never planned it to keep it a secret. But basically, when you upload a video, you can edit it, right? Duh. But basically, you can mash other clips that you've uploaded before, you know, for example, my intros and outros, and you can mash them together in one clip. And literally, and depending on how long the video is, it can usually just be a couple minutes or an hour, and your new video is done, and now you have your intro and outro. It was that simple. And like, you can add transitions and stuff, but if you didn't, then it would just have like the clips together and stuff. But yeah, you could still do it, and it was that easy, and that was taken out, and it's really upsetting that now I can't do that anymore. Because I mean, I don't know about y'all, but my intros and outros are pretty fire sometimes, so, and I just would love to use it to add more flair on my channel, to not make it too generic, I guess. I don't know how to explain it, but like, just being able to use it made me feel pretty cool.
Yeah, YouTube wants to have these super generic intros, like oh, dubstep, point. Like, hey guys, we're gonna start video. Like, it's super generic at times.
Yeah.
I do appreciate how it's very different and varied, like the things that put in these intros.
Yeah.
Along with the music and stuff. So,
yeah. Yeah, so that got screwed, and the videos, mind you, are not gone or anything. It's just the software itself to edit is gone completely. It doesn't exist anymore on YouTube, so that's very sad. So I don't know what I'm gonna do about it. I may figure it out later in time. I don't know, maybe an outlet will come out of nowhere and be like, oh, you can edit your stuff or whatever. I don't know, I may find a solution, I may not ever, or if I have to like buy editing softwares in the future and I do have the time / money to find the worth in it, you know, because of things that happen in my life and stuff, then I'll do it. But other than that, I don't really know what I'm gonna do with that problem. It'll just probably stay like this for now for a long time. I don't know. There's nothing I can do about that. But, and like I said, there's other things too, but that is one of the, like, the thing I mentioned earlier with the intros and outros is one of the things that affected me the most overall. So that's why, you know, it's a little upsetting. But, you know, it's okay. I've learned to kind of just go with the flow, and, you know, it's okay, I guess. It's not all that bad. I mean, hey, I can still upload, right? So
Gosh, we're an hour and 20 minutes in. Let's finish.
Alright, my bad. Yeah. Okay, well, I guess that's it. And obviously, you want to end this, so yeah. Alright, guys.
Yeah.
Alright, that's it for this video. If you want to see more, obviously like it, and we'll do it sooner rather than later. We'll bring in Blaze Gaming, blah 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 blah. Okay, we're good to go. So I'll see you guys later.
Bye.
This has been the Kryptonian and Xenoshift, and we're signing off. See you guys.
Later.
Alright. Broadcast settings. And stop broadcasting. Yes. Comes. I mean, there was nothing, so. Alright. Huh?